ਸਵਾਗਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਵਾਰ ਫਿਰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਭਾਈ ਹਰਿਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਇੰਟਰੋਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਦੇ ਮੁਹਤਾਜ ਨਹੀਂ ਹਨ। ਦੁਨੀਆ ਭਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਸਿੱਖੀ ਦਾ ਪ੍ਰਚਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ। ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਜਿਸ ਦੇ ਬਾਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਸ ਹੈ, ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਸ਼ਾਇਦ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਸਿੱਖ ਦੇ ਜਾਂ ਈਵਨ ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਵਿਅਕਤੀ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਇਹ ਚਰਚਾ ਚੱਲ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਾਡੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਹਨ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਨਾਲ ਵਾਪਸ ਜੋੜੀਏ। ਰਿਲੀਜਨ ਅਸਲ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈ ਕੀ ਹੈ? ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲਿਟੀ ਦੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਇਸ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਡਿਰਾਈਵ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ। ਆਓ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਉੱਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਹਰਿਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨਾਲ। ਜੀ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ,
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
It's a very important topic. I would like your experience and your wisdom to be shared today with our viewers. And the issue is, over the years, what we are finding is that youngsters from organized religion are growing away. And it's not just the case with the Sikhs, it's every other religion.
Yes.
But we'll focus mostly on the Sikhs. Being a Sikh yourself, you have seen the evolution of this community in Canada and how we have developed or we have gone back as far as spirituality is concerned. So could you take us on this journey since the time you got baptized in around 80s, and over the years, what are you finding? At some places when we go, we are disheartened when we don't see any Sikh youngster wearing a turban, and what to talk of knowing about Bani. But on the other hand, there are some groups when we see them, there is some kind of inspiration. Yes, Sikhi is still alive and our youngsters will carry it on. So what has been your experience? Please elaborate on that.
Well, next year is my 40th anniversary since I came to the feet of the Guru. It's a long time.
Right.
And over those years I've been involved in the Sangat. I've done the Seva for these now almost 40 years. And I've watched the growth in Canada, as you said. And what's happening with our young people is that they're being drawn away because they don't see or understand the value. In fact, what is said to me mostly by the young people and the young adults is, my parents have never taught me. And it's strange to understand. Here's young people in their 20s even who have grown up in a Sikh family who say to me, well, I don't know what Ek Onkar means. I don't know what the Guru means. Nobody ever told me or showed me or anything. And that to me is the tragedy. And I understand that in a lot of cases parents came here as immigrants, worked hard, did many, many jobs, but didn't pass on their love of Guru, didn't pass on to the young people. So one aspect is what's at home, that it's important for our young people, because if we don't pass it to them, they won't pass it to their children. And that's why they're marrying outside and they just go on in this life, this Western way of life, and this Maya and all the TV and all the things that they do is very enticing and draws them into that. Secondly, our Gurdwaras themselves have not given, in the most cases, have not looked at what is future leadership. We don't discuss within our Sangats, how do we build leadership? How do we create leaders of these? Not just that they should follow and come, it's nice what we're doing, but we don't think in terms of, if you look at other faiths, they have leadership camps, leadership training, they have a system of leadership. Now, it's a little different for us, yes, but nonetheless, we have to give that aspect of that kind of support. So there's a lot of flaws in the understanding of how to create within our system here in Canada and with our children and our youth. Otherwise, there's everything they can get involved in. There's drugs out there, there's gangs out there, there's criminals, there's gangsters, all in our faith, right? They all go to that part of it because they don't have what I call the connection with the Guru. They don't have that relationship. And either the Gurus, the families, whatever the circumstance, I'm not blaming anybody particularly, but whatever the circumstance is, we're not giving them the connection of understanding. The teachings of Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib, which have been said by many people, even outside of our Sikh faith, is the most powerful teaching that exists on this planet that can help to bring peace, that the technology of Siddhi Guru Granth can change a person's life and raise a person's spirit.
So, Paisa, while we have succeeded in worldly pursuits, there's no doubt about it, as rich businessmen or technocrats or administrators, we have succeeded. But when it comes to the Guru's talk, we are the ancestors of that lineage where rather they spent their whole life sitting on the horse's back, but they were so much connected with the Guru. What do you think, where things started deteriorating or we didn't understand that we are going away from the Guru? And especially today, while we can accomplish anything else, why is it that we are not working on this particular issue when we know that this is a major challenge for us in the coming years?
Well, and I don't want to get too deep into the history of things, because that's you know, we can go on for hours.
Right.
But generally speaking, first of all, from my studies, that the British divided the Sikhs in India
Right.
and created a lot of dissension and division. That division, which was created by that and within our own selves, but certainly that division has carried on now throughout the world within
Right.
our Sikh communities, our Sanghats, where there's a division, right? Politics, all this other thing. I don't want to get too deep into that.
Right.
But that division has then filtered itself downward to our children, to our young adults, to not give them, to the most part, giving them the root and that foundation of understanding that, again, as I've always talked and as I've learned in 40 years, is to live a way of life.
Right.
And it hasn't stopped me from doing business and going out and doing things and that, but we do it with a sense of devotion, with our
Right.
spirit, and without, you know, Guru says, don't use alcohol, don't use drugs. And look at within our families, alcohol has
yes.
created more problems in our families and our
Right.
communities and our Sanghats that I even can talk
Absolutely.
about.
But on the other hand, when we talk about spiritual stress as such and religious
Okay.
stress, like for youngsters, parents think it is an obligation just to take them to the Gurdwara on a Sunday or an Akhand Path, and that obligation is finished. So now that stress which the child has, basically not understanding what they are seeing in the homes, what they are seeing in our Gurdwaras or in the society as such. So probably that also is having an impact on them, that we are not walking the talk. There's a lot
Right.
of sermonizing going around, but when it comes to practice, the youngsters get disillusioned many times.
And right, and you're talking about suicide, and we've had a lot of suicides of our young people between the ages of 17 and 25, certainly in Ontario and here. You know, what is driving the children to that brink
Right.
of committing suicide? And mostly it's because of dissatisfaction, certainly within the family structure and outside of it, that they're feeling that, and again, not being given the direction, so they lose hope.
Right.
It's unfortunate, but they lose hope. And medications and antidepressants don't solve the problem.
Right.
But again, we're so geared into this Western thinking, and there's so much that's drawing away from that.
Right.
And you know, everybody's concerned about money. Either they don't have enough money, or they have too much money, or
Right.
they're fighting about money, and money becomes the god.
So money-centered approach is leading to these
Yeah,
disasters.
because money becomes the god. Right.
Right. Okay, you have always emphasized on this issue that Sikhism is a way of life. Right. Now, Sikhism is a way of life, and we need to understand that. But it's quite unfortunate that we have segregated everything into compartments. Religion has been compartmentalized just to the Gurdwaras. We think we just by going over there,
Right.
we are doing our obligation. Our daily life is something different. Our spiritual life is
Right.
something different. How that is having an impact on us as a society, we'll talk for this after this short break. ਜੋ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਭਾਈ ਹਰਿਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਜੀ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਅੱਜ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਆ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਖਾਸ ਤੌਰ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਨੌਜਵਾਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਜੋ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਹੋਈ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਬੜਾ ਹੀ ਇੱਕ ਚਿੰਤਾ ਦਾ ਵਿਸ਼ਾ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਘਰੋਂ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਸਟਾਰਟ ਕਰਕੇ ਗੁਰਦੁਆਰਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਮਿਊਨੀਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਿਸਟਮ ਨੂੰ ਚੇਂਜ ਕਰਨ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇੱਕ ਐਸਾ ਰਾਬਤਾ ਬਣੇ ਜਿਸ ਨਾਲ ਕਿ ਉਹ ਮਹਿਸੂਸ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਕਿ ਜੋ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਜਾ ਰਿਹਾ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਰੈਲੇਵੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਜੋ ਸਮਾਜ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਚੱਲ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੱਚੇ ਸਟ੍ਰੈਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ ਡਿਪਰੈਸ਼ਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਨ ਸੁਸਾਈਡਲ ਟੈਂਡੈਂਸੀਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਵਧੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਦੀ ਵਰਤੋਂ ਵਧ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਚਿੰਤਾਜਨਕ ਇਸ਼ੂਜ਼ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਸੋਲਵ ਹੋਣਗੇ ਧਰਮ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀ ਸਟਰੋਂਗ ਫਾਊਂਡੇਸ਼ਨ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਬੜਾ ਮਾਣ ਹੈ ਇਤਿਹਾਸਕ ਪੱਖ ਤੋਂ ਵੀ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਦੱਸਿਆ ਕਿ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ਰਸ ਦੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ ਇਹ ਡਿਵਾਈਡ ਐਂਡ ਰੂਲ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਪਾਲਿਸੀ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਅਡਾਪਟ ਹੋਈ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਅੱਜ ਸਮਾਂ ਬਦਲ ਚੁੱਕਿਆ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਕੋਈ ਪ੍ਰੈਸ਼ਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਰਗੇ ਮੁਲਕ 'ਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਦੀ ਪ੍ਰੋਬਲਮ ਹੈ ਲੇਕਿਨ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਸੁਹਿਰਤਾ ਨਾਲ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਹੋਰ ਸਟਰੈਂਥਨ ਕਰੀਏ ਤਾਂ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਹੋ ਸਕੀਏ
ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ ਅਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295
ਭਾਈ ਹਰਨਾਮ ਸਿੰਘ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੀ ਸਾਂਝ ਅੱਜ ਪੈ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਇਸ਼ੂ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਯੰਗਸਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਆਪਣੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਵੈਲਿਊਜ਼ ਨਾਲ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਜੋੜਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਾਮਯਾਬ ਹੋਈਏ ਆਓ ਕੁਝ ਹੋਰ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਸੋ ਬਿਫੋਰ ਦ ਬ੍ਰੇਕ ਆਈ ਵਾਸ ਕੁਐਸਚਨਿੰਗ ਯੂ ਅਬਾਊਟ ਦ ਸੈਗਰੀਗੇਸ਼ਨ ਆਫ ਆਰ ਲਾਈਫ ਇਨਟੂ ਡਿਫਰੈਂਟ ਕੰਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟਸ whereas Sikhism is a way of life. How do you think what needs to be done so that we are able to consider our religion as a way of life and not just as a place or not just as a ritual or a system where we just bow before the Guru, and that is what we have done.
Well, you know, it's an uphill battle in a lot of ways, because when we say what is the way of life,
Right.
right? So let's just break it down in a very simple way. Certainly to do pot every day, to do some Simran every day, to relax the body every day, to relax the mind every day. You know, I teach the kids that we have 24 hours in the day, and our Guru is saying, give us the 10%, the 2.4 hours.
Right.
And if we can give Guru 2.4 hours, 10% of our day, then Guru looks after the other 90% for us.
Right.
But what does that mean? I believe in that. I trust in that. I wake up every morning. I'm up early. I'm in the Amrit Vela to do my meditation, because that's, and do pot, and because that's the time that nobody bugs me, right? But that prepares me for the day. You know, the sun is rising. That's the Amrit Vela. The sun is rising. We rise with the sun when we do pot or Simran. So that prepares us mentally.
Right.
It gives us a mental and spiritual foundation to face our day. Then, with that, my experience has been that with that opening, my day flows. Who knows what's going to be? I let it happen. Guru, you guide me. And it doesn't matter if it's a young person doing it, going to school, you're going to work. If you have that practice daily, it builds in you.
Right.
And you stay more relaxed. And when we're more relaxed, we're more receptive to have things happen for us.
Right.
But if we look at the way we are, certainly with our kids, we give them sugar when they come home, we feed them, they're uptight. When our bodies are tense, our mind gets tense, then what happens? We react to everything in life, we don't feel successful. So the self-image is very important.
Right.
So the daily practice as a Sikh is to always improve your self-image.
Right.
Guru improves the image of ourselves so we feel good. When you feel good, when I feel good, then everything around us feels good.
Absolutely.
But depression, alcoholism, these are very, especially depression,
Right.
is a major concern in our Sangats, especially among the women.
Right.
Depression is very, very high.
Right.
And when I speak in the Gurdwara Sahibs, I say, why should one of us be depressed?
Absolutely.
We have such a teaching, we have Vaheguru with us, we have, so why should one be poor?
Right.
Why should one be depressed? Why should one be unhappy? When we have Siddhi Guru Granth Sahib, we have all this technology, we have all this beautiful teaching,
Right.
but we don't know how to successfully integrate, nor are we giving our children
Right.
that understanding how to successfully integrate those teachings into day-to-day life to help us progress in life.
Right.
Right? When I talk to the children, I say, how many want to be successful? They all raise their hand.
Oh yeah.
How many want to make good money? How many want a good spiritual life? They don't understand what I'm
Right.
saying.
Right.
But they want to make money, they want to be successful, they want to do
Right.
careers. So we're not integrating in a way that they can understand
Right.
the benefits of this way of life that Guru Nanak Dev Ji gave us. He said, Kirit karo, he said, work hard, do your stuff, do everything. He said, Vanchag, he said, give and share, pay, give
Absolutely.
that daswan, share with others. And he said, non-simmered, he said, meditate,
Right.
balance your life. So everything, when we say living this life, is
Right.
balance.
Right.
It's not, oh, I'm a big spiritual guy, look at Harinam's a big spiritual, I'm nothing.
Right.
All I try to do is every day balance myself
Right.
so that I can face what I have to face. Every day we have challenges.
Oh, of
You'll be
course.
the most spiritual, high
Right.
one you want to be.
The Gurus also went through that phase.
They sure did,
Absolutely.
more than anybody, more
Right.
than we do. We face those challenges every day. Our children face those challenges.
Right.
Question is, how are you going to face them? Are you going to face them with Vaheguru in your heart? Our Guru's
Right.
taught us to have the courage to have Vaheguru in our heart, to face those challenges, not hide from them, not try to fight them, not to be hurt by them, not to be sunk by them,
Right.
but to rise above.
Absolutely.
Jardikala doesn't mean, oh, I'm just happy. Jardikala means elevated spirit,
Right.
rising spirit. We say, Nanakanam Jardikala Teri Vanita
Sarvata. Right.
Say, in the name of Nanak we're calling. Nanakanam, powerful. In the name of Nanak we're calling.
Right.
That all spirits shall be uplifted.
Absolutely.
And all shall prosper by God's grace.
Absolutely.
I mean, what a call to action. Do you want a different call to action?
Right.
You want me to just ring a bell?
Right.
Nanakanam, the name of Nanak we call.
Right.
Who's going to defeat you?
Absolutely.
What's going to defeat you in life?
Absolutely.
So you just take even Nanakanam.
Right.
What else do you need?
So that's the faith you should have, and absolutely you can do wonders if you have
Yes.
that kind of thinking.
Hanji.
Alcoholism has been a major issue in our
Yes,
community,
yes.
but right now another major threat which we are facing is the issue of drugs.
Absolutely.
And
yes.
that is what, whether it is British Columbia or Ontario,
Hanji.
that's what we are concerned about.
Yes.
In the Gurbani, it is very rightly mentioned and very clearly mentioned that we have to be away from all these intoxicants. But despite that, we are not understanding. Alcohol was a social, I would say, a status issue, whereby if alcohol is not served, we are considered to be backwards. And it's rather asked, are you a Sikh and you don't drink? That's the kind of approach what we have targeted for. Now, over the years, sir, with your experience, now this issue, as it is going beyond our expectations, what can be done to wean away our youth back into our basic spiritual values, that this is not what we stand for? While we are very happy in propagating the kathas and of our gurus, whereby even go to the extent of saying that the horse of the guru did not go through the field where opium was there. But today we also find various other issues which are being propagated, and the Sikhs themselves are kind of supporting those parties which propagate that. What do you have to say about
Well,
that?
you know, it's very simple to fall into that way of life, right? Especially if you're going home and the parents are drinking or the father's drinking.
Right.
And so alcohol, drugs has become a way of life. And you get into that, you know, crowd of people that use drugs. Why does somebody drink? Why does somebody use a drug? Because they don't want to face reality,
Right.
right? So better you should be high, better you should be alcohol, drunk,
Right.
because you can't face the courage of this life that we live.
Right.
So we have to shift that. We have to get clear of that. And it's not easy because these are addictions.
Right.
And to clear oneself of an addiction. I do much counseling with our youth about drug use
Right.
and those who are using drugs. I counsel in our families that have alcohol problems. And it's very difficult to beat these addictions.
Right.
And I try to say, you know, do the Vaheguru Simran, let's do it together. Meditate on God's name. You can get more high with that than any drug is ever going to give you. But that addiction and that falling into that way of life, it's here. Those traps exist. If you want to find them, you're going to find them. Problem is, it destroys life
Right.
and takes away the vitality of living, and it's eroding here, Canada, India especially, we have such a problem. It's eroding the foundation of the Sikh faith.
Right.
And
One
share it with others.
final piece of suggestion from you. You have been organizing youth camps, and on April the 26th, again, you are holding one major camp. In these camps, when you interact with people, what all is what you emphasize, and especially on the April the 26th, what are you going to emphasize?
Well, April 26th is for all people, not just for our youth, but it's
Okay.
for everyone who'd like to come.
Right.
It's in Surrey, and it's on health and vitality,
Right.
which is very major today. We're going
Oh,
to spend
yes.
a day teaching different Simran, we'll do Simran, we'll do other things, and learn about ourselves
Right.
and our own state of health and our own vitality,
Right.
which we need to understand in our Sikh community especially. Although people from everyone is welcome to come, we advertise it. But specifically, I see the health problems.
Right.
So I want to start addressing in a workshop atmosphere or camp-like atmosphere,
Right.
addressing health and vitality. It's going to be at the Bikram Yoga, Delta Yoga on Scott Road. You can go on Facebook, Harinam S Khalsa Facebook page,
Right.
and see the poster there. We'll give you the poster. So it's very important to attend. It's not very expensive,
Right.
and it's a full day. It's from 10 to 4 p.m. But we want to talk about health and vitality
Right.
and how we can start exactly what we're talking about today
Absolutely.
to reverse those addictions.
Absolutely, the mind, body, soul concept, because ultimately if our body is not good, how can we concentrate and how can we
Exactly.
become understand the basic message?
Exactly.
Bhai Sahib, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much. ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ
ਜੀ
ਕਾ
ਕਾ
ਖਾਲਸਾ
ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਇਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਜੀ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਹੀ ਸਮਾਪਤੀ। ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਜੋ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਯੂਥ ਦੇ ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਡਰੱਗਸ, ਐਲਕੋਹਲ, ਇਹ ਸਮੱਸਿਆਵਾਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਘਰਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਗੰਭੀਰ ਰੂਪ ਅਖਤਿਆਰ ਕਰਦੀਆਂ ਜਾ ਰਹੀਆਂ ਨੇ, ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰਤੀ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ। ਜਿਹੜੀ ਮੇਰੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਡਿਸਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਈ ਉਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੈਂ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਸੀ ਕਿ ਕੀ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਰਸਤਾ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਅਪਣਾਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੀਦਾ ਹੈ, ਤੇ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਹਾ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ। ਅੱਜ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੇ ਜੀਵਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਬੈਲੈਂਸ ਲਿਆਵਾਂਗੇ, ਕਿਤੇ ਵੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਗਿਆ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਾ ਕਮਾਈਏ, ਚੰਗੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਬਿਤਾਈਏ, ਪਰ ਨਾਲ ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਹੋਰਡਿੰਗ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਹੀ ਨਾ ਰਹਿ ਜਾਏ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਮਦਦ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ ਉਸ ਪੈਸੇ ਨਾਲ, ਕਿਸੇ ਦੀ ਲਈ ਕੁਝ ਕਰ ਸਕੀਏ। ਇਹੀ ਮਕਸਦ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਹ ਇੱਕ ਬਾਣਾ ਵੀ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਤੇ ਇਸ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੋੜਿਆ। ਅੱਜ ਵਾਕਿਆ 'ਚ ਜੇਕਰ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਬਚਾਉਣਾ, ਇੱਕ ਲੈਗੇਸੀ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਵਾਸਤੇ ਚੰਗੀ ਛੱਡਣੀ, ਤਾਂ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਇਸ ਪਾਸੇ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਕਿਸ ਤਰੀਕੇ ਨਾਲ ਅਸੀਂ ਘਰਾਂ 'ਚ ਇੱਕ ਐਸਾ ਮਾਹੌਲ ਬਣਾਈਏ ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਸ਼ਰਾਬ ਤੇ ਡਰੱਗਸ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਬਾਹਰ ਸੁੱਟੇ ਜਾਣ, ਤੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੁਰੂ ਦੀ ਬਾਣੀ ਨਾਲ ਜੁੜ ਕੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੋੜ ਕੇ ਆਪਣਾ ਵੀ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਕਰੀਏ, ਤੇ ਨਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਵੀ ਜੀਵਨ ਦਾ ਮਕਸਦ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਇਜ਼ ਅ ਵੇ ਆਫ ਲਾਈਫ। ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਇੱਕ ਧਰਮ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਰੋਜ਼ਮਰਾ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਜੀਣਾ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਸਿਖਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ, ਨਾ ਕਿ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੰਪਾਰਟਮੈਂਟਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕਰ ਦਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਪੋਲੀਟਿਕਸ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਖੇਡਣੀ ਹੈ, ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ, ਜਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਧਾਰਮਿਕ ਰੀਤੀ ਵਿਧੀਆਂ ਜਿਹੜੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਣਾਉਣਾ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇੱਕ ਕੰਪਲੈਕਸ, ਇਹ ਸਿਨੋਨਿਮਸ ਹੈ, ਇਹ ਹਰ ਚੀਜ਼, ਇਹ ਕੋਈ ਇੱਕ ਦੂਸਰੇ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗੀ। ਇਸ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਸੋਚਣਾ ਪਏਗਾ ਕਿ ਅਸੀਂ ਕਿਵੇਂ ਇਸ ਚੀਜ਼ ਨੂੰ ਅਪਣਾਈਏ ਤੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਬੱਚਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਵਾਪਸ ਰਾਹ 'ਤੇ ਪਾਈਏ। ਫਿਰ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਜੀ। ਫੀਡਬੈਕ ਜ਼ਰੂਰ ਦੇਣਾ 604-603-7555 ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ, ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਈਮੇਲ ਰਾਹੀਂ ਵੀ ਸੰਪਰਕ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ harpreetsingh@gmail.com। ਇਹ ਸਾਰੇ ਐਪੀਸੋਡਸ ਤੁਸੀਂ youtube.com/harpreetsingh ਤੇ ਵੀ ਜਾ ਕੇ ਦੁਬਾਰਾ ਦੇਖ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਤੇ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਭਾਈ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਨੇ ਅਖੀਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿਹਾ ਕਿ 26 ਅਪ੍ਰੈਲ ਨੂੰ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਖੁੱਲ੍ਹਾ ਸੱਦਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਆਓ ਅਤੇ ਹੈਲਥ ਅਤੇ ਵਾਈਟੈਲਿਟੀ ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਜੋ ਇਹ ਸੈਮੀਨਾਰ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਉਸ ਦਾ ਬੈਨੀਫਿਟ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਲੈ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਫਿਰ ਮੁਲਾਕਾਤ ਹੋਏਗੀ, ਤਦ ਤੱਕ ਗੁੱਡ ਬਾਏ।